And a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're located on this beautiful Sail Talk Saturday.
I just realized, based on the camera, you can't even see. I wore this intentionally so that I could celebrate Norwegian Cruise Lines and my first ever Norwegian booking, and you can't even really see it. It just says feel free.
Feel free. Just feel free.
Y'all feel free.
Feel free to ask your questions, send your comments, use the live chat below as I just put up on the screen.
I was just going to say that exact same thing. Feel free to drop a comment in the chat today.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about my trip last week. I do have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize.
There's a plexiglass right here.
There should be.
Yeah.
So I apologize if you hear a little bit of that in my voice, but it was an epic sailing.
No, it was an encore sailing.
It was an encore sailing. Later today, we're going to be Later today?
Yeah.
We're going to be
like right after this is done.
Oh my gosh. So you are exclusively getting the first dibs on this. We're going to be posting my first 24 hours on board. Not the Celebrity Apex.
Oh my gosh, that's a throwback. Norwegian Encore. I wasn't even there.
On the Norwegian Encore. And so stick around, stay tuned. I'm super excited. It's actually one of my what you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix that. That's okay.
Okay. It's one of my, actually probably one of my favorite videos that we have done.
Oh,
and it's not just because it features me, a ton of me. Honest, I promise that.
It's all him.
But it was a ton of fun, and I think the edits came out really nice.
Yeah, I think so too.
We'll be publishing that after this.
Yeah, we just got to move some stuff around, and then it'll be ready to go.
Hey,
Good morning, Raymond. Thank you so much for joining us today.
So we're 14 days out from another sailing, right?
We are. We hop onto Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady 2 weeks from today. We're still working on the logistics of Sail Talk Saturday as we get into.
I thought you were saying logistics of the booking. I was like, I hope the logistics of the booking
that's taken care of. We did get an email this morning, or at least I did, about adding $300 in bar tab, and they'll match it for $50. Okay.
It doesn't really seem exciting because you lose. It's use it or lose it.
If
we add the $300, and
we got a lot of drinking to do. But it's an 8-day cruise, but it's still a lot of drinking. I know. You're a pro at this.
Why do you think I'm sick?
I thought alcohol is supposed to kill those germs.
I thought it was too.
Maybe you're not drinking enough.
It makes me more social. Okay, so we've got some cruise news articles as well that we're going to talk about.
Yep.
We're going to kind of rapid fire through them because we've got a bunch of them today, and we don't want to bore you with all the details. But am I up first? Or are you up first? Who's up first?
You were first.
Who's on first?
That is the
epic
question.
aging question. Aging question? I don't know. Oh, Carnival.
Yeah.
Oh, the Sootgate. Did you see Sootgate this week? Carnival Cruise Lines, as they were getting ready to leave Grand Turk, they made a little bit of a mess on Wednesday. They had an accidental release of soot. Carnival, the cruise operator blames.
I'm pulling that off the screen.
It's gross. I call it Sootgate. The cruise operator blames likely a temporary power outage in their gas generating systems or their scrubber systems. They're digging into figuring out what that is. The operator, of course, said that they were going to do a full cleanup and make sure that everything was taken care of. So the Carnival Magic was delayed in leaving Grand Turk so that the cruise operator could do all of the cleanup. Several comments online were not nice.
No,
it's not surprising that these images have circulated all over social media. It's an unfortunate and it is a crappy incident that happened. Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Yep.
But the operator did confirm that they were going to do all of the appropriate cleanups as well as repair the exhaust gas control system, EGCS.
Yep.
That was likely at fault for the release. All of the local authorities were informed and all of that stuff. And the overall itinerary was not impacted.
It was not impacted at all. They arrived, I think, a little bit late at their next port of call, but that's to be expected. Overall,
not great pictures.
No, I'm not putting that back up. Don't worry.
I mean, I'm going to be talking a little bit about Scotland and their proposal of new taxes on cruise ships because of emissions.
And I'll be talking about Sitka again.
It's just not a great look for the cruise industry.
No, it's not.
And again, not intentional, obviously, but just a sucky accident.
It is. And a very good day to you, Jay. Thank you so much for joining in with us on this beautiful Saturday.
Hi, Jay.
Morning here, and I think where you're located, it might be afternoon. Well, anyway, thanks for joining in. All right, moving on to our next article of conversation, and that is the Carnival Jubilee has made her way out of the docks. So she is actually ready to do her next round of sea trials, but they transported her down the River Ems. Which
is that how I say that?
That's how you say it. It's Ems.
Okay. Oh,
like,
look at how beautiful.
Like plural M.
Look at how beautiful.
She's gorgeous. Here's in SoCal. My bad.
Yeah,
Good morning, Jay.
I was like, what?
Sorry.
That's why Jay saw me look down kind of to the side like,
I know. I have to keep track of everyone.
Where's the spreadsheet when you need it?
I know.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so the Carnival Jubilee, she made her way down the River Ems from the Poppenberg Meyer Werft shipyard. Jubilee is going through her final stages of preparation for her upcoming sailing on
December 23rd,
2023.
Yep.
Kind of interesting. I was looking at several different cruise ship trackers, and I didn't want to tell you ahead of time, but they're all showing her next scheduled move is January 1st. I think that might just be a logging issue, and they haven't actually logged in their official sailing across the Atlantic Ocean. I'm going to be optimistic about it and say that was just a clerical error. But she doesn't have much time.
I don't think the ship is going to, personally, and no one from Carnival Cruise Lines has shared this with me, but I don't believe that the cruise ship is going to be fully complete on December 23rd when we sail. That's a risk of there are several risks of an inaugural sailing. One, that it doesn't happen, as we saw with Carnival Jubilee and as we've seen with multiple ships before her. The other risk is that there's still some construction that is not yet finished. And I do believe that there will likely be some construction that is still to be done. The Ems conveyance is a huge milestone. It's a celebration. People were on the dikes of the river, even though it says do not enter, no trespassing. They were on the dikes taking pictures and videos. I mean, like,
it's cool.
Did you see how narrow?
It's tiny. It's a very narrow space. And for some reason, they moved the ship backwards through the canal instead of turning it and then going forward. Yeah, it was weird because when I was looking at the ship tracker, or the direction of travel, the way that the bow points was pointing upstream, but the ship was definitely not moving upstream at that time. So yeah, it was interesting, but that is complete. She now sits at the mouth of the river where she's in another dock. Where they're just completing the outfitting and they'll do some more sea trials.
They'll do her sea trials. Speaking of Carnival, Paradise emerged from her 16-day dry dock. Have you been on Carnival Paradise? It's a ship that I want to get on. What class is she?
She's a fantasy class.
She's an old girl. She's an
oldie.
old girl.
Yeah.
She just got out of a 16-day dry dock. Carnival posted a bunch of pictures. They said she had a casino. Her casino was expanded.
Yep.
Her piano bar was updated. It looked like a classic Jill Farkas piano bar to me.
Looks beautiful still, which I'm happy about.
Public spaces were updated.
Yep.
Carnival does say that Serenity, the adults only area or retreat, was also updated. But as you see here, there are no pictures of Serenity, so I'm curious.
No, it's the mini golf course.
I actually tweeted out, I was like, hey, if any of our followers are getting on the Paradise, let us know if you notice or see any changes, because I'm curious what other public space changes, because 16 days is a decent amount of time for a dry dock.
It is.
It does look like that mini golf course is new, though.
It does. It looks like that was maybe redone. We know that the Freedom just came out of her dry dock, and they did a substantial amount of work on the Freedom with the introduction of the Heroes Tribute Bar, and they, big thing. They did their funnel and they repainted her livery to match, or her hull to match the livery.
Paradise didn't get Heroes Tribute.
No,
okay.
No.
I
don't know that they would have space to do it on the Paradise, honestly.
Okay.
So anyway, we already talked about Freedom last week. So moving on to another news story about a ship going through sea trials, and that is the Icon of the Seas has made her way out of the docks. And she is now doing her. Oh, that's definitely not the. That looked
like a celebrity ship.
That was a celebrity ship. That's coming up next.
Oh.
Oops. Things happen when you're live. So we've got the Icon of the Seas is doing her sea trials. She made her way out into the seas. She's hitting 23 knots, which is a pretty high speed for a ship of this size.
She's a big girl to be hitting 23 knots.
Yeah. So this is her second round of sea trials. She's already done it once before. And this time they actually have people from the Meyer Turku shipyard on board. They've got the engineers on board. They've got people from Royal Caribbean on the ship. And they are just checking things out. They're making sure all systems are good. They're checking for vibration levels. I'm not sure how they're going to adjust vibration levels at this point in the game, but they still do have some outfitting that they're doing on the ship. I read somewhere in the article that they were doing some buoyancy tests to see like what kind of tilt she can handle, which I don't like, where her center of gravity is. I'm curious to learn more about that process. That seems very interesting.
Remember back during COVID, or was it right after COVID, where you could sign up to be a tester of a Royal Caribbean ship?
Yes.
Remember that?
I do remember that.
I would sign up. Royal Caribbean, if you're watching.
Bring it back.
Yeah, if you're watching, I can't think of the CEO's name off the top of my head.
Is that Michael Bailey?
Michael Bailey, if you're watching this, hey, awesome. We would love to join you on Icon of the Seas. We'd love to join you for sea trials if you're looking for volunteers.
Or, you know, at this point, Star of the Seas is the next one coming out. So we'll happily wait until the Star. You know.
I'm not going to wait.
Oh, I know you're not. You've got lots of things going on. Right.
So this next one is a surprise to me. Speaking of Royal Caribbean.
Yeah. Which one was
It's the restaurant scheduling. So did you know, we knew this because we've sailed Royal. One of the things that I hated.
Yeah.
If we would have done the loved, didn't love, hated back then, that's our new shtick. That's our new spiel that we do whenever we sail a ship.
Yep.
One of the things that I would have hated was Embark Day, when we had to schedule all restaurants, all entertainment. We had to schedule everything. And I just wanted to eat my food in the Windjammer. And Rocky's like, well, wait a minute. What are we doing Thursday night at 7:30 p.m.? I hated that.
Yeah.
Well, Royal Caribbean is fixing this pain point, and they are now going to be allowing cruisers the ability to schedule their purchased dining package options pre-cruise.
Right.
So today, if you buy one of those dining packages where you can dine at their specialty restaurants, you have to wait until you get on board to book all of those. And so some cruisers actually on Cruise Critic have said, I don't buy them because I'm not going to pay for 3 meals and then not even be sure that I can get into the restaurant. There's no, like, I don't want to deal with that. And so Royal Caribbean has confirmed that after the launch of Icon of the Seas, which is slated for January 27th, late January, that they plan to, they're already testing it right now on Wonder of the Seas. I think it's Wonder of the Seas. They're testing it. On Wonder of the Seas right now. And they plan to roll it out fleet-wide in 2024. So that will reduce a pain point.
Yeah.
Again, it shocks me. Carnival, we've pre-booked.
Yep.
Celebrity, we've pre-booked.
Yep.
Norwegian Cruise Lines, I just pre-booked.
Yep.
Virgin,
which has no upcharge restaurants, and we pre-booked everything.
I mean, it took us multiple tries to pre-book on Virgin.
It was our first time. I think if we were to do Virgin again, we would be a little bit faster at it, maybe.
No, it was that awful app. Sorry. Virgin Voyages, if you're watching this, we'd love to get on your new ships too. But in all seriousness, that app crashed.
It did.
The entire night we tried.
I think there was an issue that night because everyone in our group was complaining about that issue, but they said they hadn't.
No one else has ever had an issue with Virgin Voyages app.
No, not.
Let's jump on.
Oh, I didn't even put up any of the images that I had for this article.
You have an image?
Yeah,
what
I've got a
image
couple
do
of
you
images.
have?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, let's.
It's because the order changed for some reason.
Look at those Royal Caribbean dining options.
I know.
Look at that. Wow.
Do you see Wonderland up there on the right corner? That was a beautiful space on Harmony of the Seas.
Jeff and James love that
place. They do.
Yep.
Okay.
Hi, Jeff and James.
There we go. Coming back to us.
Feel free to sponsor us.
I don't think they can. Nothing against them. All right. So this next article I think is kind of fun. Something that we would have loved to have gotten in behind, and perhaps we could still do it in our aging years, and that is to live on a cruise ship for 20 plus years. This man called Mario, Super Mario as he's referred to.
Super Mario! Oh, I didn't see this article.
Yeah. So Mario started sailing in the late 1990s, actually, and he started by trying out 10 different cruise lines. He went on 10 different cruise lines. He sailed across 170 nights across these 10 different cruise lines in search of the perfect cruise line to retire on.
I did not know Super Mario's founder story or his creation story.
Yeah. So he tried out all these different cruise lines to see what it was going to be like. And then when he got on the Voyager of the Seas, that's one of Royal Caribbean's old ships now, he loved how it was designed. He loved how he was treated while he was sailing. He just really enjoyed the overall experience that Royal Caribbean had to offer on Voyager of the Seas. And so he ended up dedicating the next 20 years of his life to Royal Caribbean ships. He spends an average of $87,000 per year doing these sailings. He does sail on interior rooms. So that's going to be the best option that you can get, right? That's what we usually book. And yeah, he has sailed thousands of nights. Like I think he's at 10,000 plus nights, which is the pinnacle status with Royal Caribbean.
750 is pinnacle.
It's well beyond.
Yeah, he's earned a couple of those trophies. Those crystal blocks.
Right. Yeah. Now that Rob's here, you can correct us on that.
I was literally just gonna say, I know it's not in the lineup, and so Rocky, you're gonna get stressed.
No, you're fine.
Rocky's gonna get stressed when I jump ahead.
I'll do it.
Norwegian Cruise Lines, they launched a new ship, or they announced
the launch of a
new ship this week called the Norwegian Aqua.
I don't think I have any pictures of the Norwegian Aqua.
Oh my goodness!
It's because we didn't have it in our lineup for some reason.
It is a beautiful looking ship. What's the class?
It is a Prima Plus
So
class.
Norwegian is all about plussing up their ship. So if you followed the Breakaway or the Breakaway Plus, they take a ship design. So the Prima, they put out 2 ships, Prima and Viva.
Correct.
Guest feedback has been mixed, I would say, has been very mixed. I actually just met someone on the Norwegian Encore who said they're a very frequent. They took me to specialty dining multiple nights because they frequent Norwegian and they get all of these free perks. And they said that the Prima was their least Prima was their least favorite ship.
It was the Viva
ever because of the lack of guest space, the dead ends, the design of the ship, and so Aqua looks to remedy that in a significant way.
Right. Yeah. So they've extended the ship's length. They have removed the go-kart track, which is a huge space saver.
It was a huge waste. I think. That was my observation on the ship. A huge waste.
In the observation lounge?
Huh?
Your observation. In the observation lounge?
Oh, gotcha. I didn't understand.
Never mind. It just went over his head a little bit. So there's definitely a lot of really great changes coming to the Aqua. Very excited to see some of these new ideas that are being implemented into this ship.
And did you put Rob's "Hey Guys" up?
I did put that one up. Yeah,
the reason why I skipped ahead is because Rob's comment triggered. Rob may have booked, and hopefully he doesn't mind me sharing this, may have booked a 3-bedroom duplex Haven suite on the Norwegian Aqua. And I'm telling you, he sent me the photo, the deck plan, the photos of that suite, and it connects. Look at his room connects to the Haven restaurant.
Oh, so you can midnight snack, roll out of bed, go get some food, come back in.
I'm just gonna run over to the Haven restaurant. Oh, you are? You're just gonna open the door?
Yeah, right.
I mean, how, Rob? Seriously,
that's beautiful.
The ship's design, I don't know.
The aft design is that's to the left a little bit, but yes.
I don't know if you can kind of see that. It's a oddly shaped. Anyway,
very curvaceous.
Okay, let's keep this PG.
Let's do that.
Rob, we're jealous, we're envious, we're excited for you, and we can't wait to. Can you get us on the inaugural?
Sure, that's what I was looking at. The inaugural is a sailing that goes from Southampton to Boston.
I've never been to Southampton.
And those are literally the only 2 ports. It's a 7-night cruise. You depart Southampton, and then you sail to Boston. 7 nights. Go.
Oh my gosh, the number of upcharges Norwegian is going to have on board.
The
OBC.
Well, but they're losing out on their go-kart track, so
yeah, they've got to make up for it somehow. Yeah,
you said the Aqua Coaster.
Maybe they'll. Oh, Aqua Coaster. Yes, that's right. I asked Twitter. I was like, Twitter, how much do you think this is going to be? I was shocked to see how expensive the go-kart race was. I was shocked to see how expensive the virtual reality maze was. $199.
Yeah, for 7 nights.
I mean, just for a week.
No. I thought it was $400. Wasn't the $199 for the full day?
$199. No, it was for if you added the go-karts. They offered a great only $398 for the week. If you just wild. So I'm sure the Aqua Coaster will cost some money.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Thank you, Rob, for totally helping us celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, thank you for that comment as well about Super Mario. I guess he has his own reserved parking spot at Royal Caribbean's headquarter building in Miami. So there's a perk that Royal Caribbean developed for their passenger that has 10,000 plus nights.
That's the Pinnacle Plus.
Yeah, Pinnacle plus 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 plus.
Breakaway Plus.
Right.
Prima Plus.
Yeah, got
Prima
it.
Plus? Prima? Is that
No.
what was it?
Viva.
Viva Plus?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's not the Viva
No,
Plus.
Viva. Prima Plus.
Okay.
What's our next article? What are we moving on to?
Yeah. Let's move on to something.
What do you got? What do you got?
We've got Royal Caribbean. Speaking of
Oh.
Super Mario, no, Super Mario did not go overboard, but a man did go overboard. But this story has a positive outcome. On last Sunday, October 29th, a man went overboard on Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas.
Yeah.
Yep, Symphony of the Seas. Ship's PA announcements were made at around 11 p.m. according to passengers that were on board that posted it. They posted some recordings of the Oscar call. Man overboard. The ship, of course, per protocol, turned around. They notified authorities. They located the passenger, were able to rescue him, bring him back on board. Now, Royal Caribbean did confirm that this happened, but they are not sharing the passenger's information out of privacy, of course.
Yep.
The one thing that I will say is these stories, they don't always have a happy ending.
Usually don't.
They usually don't, in fact. But so even though we've reported a bunch of man overboard, person overboard stories of over a 10-year span, there were 212 incidents reported.
Okay.
So with the millions and millions of guests that sail, it is still a very, very small number, but only 48 of those stories have ended in a positive outcome.
Wow.
So 28% of all person overboards actually end with a positive story. So this is definitely worth celebrating that that Royal Caribbean Symphony, did I say Symphony of the Seas, was able to rescue this passenger that went overboard.
So you have to be pretty intentional to go overboard. It's not that we're looking to go overboard, but as we walk the ships, we look at the ship and we're identifying,
I would say
what does it take?
I'd have to say you have to be pretty unintentional to go.
Well,
sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Continue.
Anyway, the railings are very high, especially on those lower decks that have ocean views or promenades where it's exposed to the water elements. You've got to really climb up to make that happen. And if you're on one of the balcony decks on the main hotel portion of the ship, a lot of those decks don't hang over the outside edge. So you're there's a lot that goes into it. So it's really interesting.
I learned a new Scottish term. So shout out to, I mean, there's so many shout outs from this last cruise, Thomas and Eddie and Monica. I mean, there are just so many. And if I didn't shout you out, I apologize. Just so many amazing people that I met.
Let's turn this down a little bit for you.
What?
Continue.
Okay.
You're fine.
So why are you cutting your heads off?
I'm
so
not.
Thomas introduced me to a term called what a Scottish term called paralytic, when you get
paralytic, right?
When you get really drunk. And so I think that probably contributes sometimes to the person overboard situation.
They think they can swim. Well, first they can fly and then they can swim.
I feel like okay, continue. What's the next article?
Down here? And really quick, a hello and good morning to cruise critic
Carnival
Cruise Addicts. What? Wow, I need to drink some more coffee.
I think you do. I think you do. That's why I'm drinking this non-branded soda from a company.
Yes, very good. Anyway, so moving on to our next article, and that is Celebrity made some changes to their dining menus. Actually, this is a really cool story. I love it. The executives, the president of Celebrity Cruise Lines, decided that she wanted to take herself and several higher ups executives from Celebrity onto the Celebrity Equinox for a 6-night cruise. They wanted to check out the menu. This is amazing. How many times have we sat there and we're going through the check-in process on a cruise lines app and we're frustrated and we're like, if only the cruise line executives and IT teams would actually go through this process, they would know how frustrating it is. So the president, she made her team get onto the Celebrity Equinox.
And they did it because passenger feedback has been really poor with some menu changes that they've made.
Correct. So they sailed, they identified some key issues. Over the course of their 6th night, by night 3, they were kind of bored with the dining options.
Oops.
Yeah, that's not a good place to be.
No.
So they got back together, and instead of rolling out this plan to one ship, they decided as of probably around Thanksgiving, this will be a fleet-wide change. They are going to introduce a chocolate dessert every night that's different on all ships, which I'm excited about. This guy does not like chocolate, so it doesn't really matter to him.
I love white chocolate.
It's not chocolate. Anyway, but yeah, so they are rolling out new dessert programs. They're rolling out their classics are coming back. What's going on? They're bringing their classics back onto the menus, which we really enjoyed when we sold on Celebrity Apex a year ago.
Oh my gosh, the French onion soup is coming back.
The French onion soup is coming back, which was fantastic. So yeah, they're just bringing out some really good things to their ship, and it's really great to see that kind of interaction and interest to make sure that their cruise line is actually performing well to their guests' expectations.
And hopefully this will alleviate some of the guest concerns and feedback that the menu just kind of got boring because it was the same stuff every day. And they didn't have the variety that they were used to.
Right.
Celebrity has made quite a few changes. I hope the executives also looked at those martini glasses. I think Rob actually sent me a couple of pictures from his Celebrity sailing. I hope they also went to the martini bar and saw those teeny tiny little martini glasses.
Right. Took a little sip from that and called it done. Carnival Cruise Addicts agrees that it is very impressive that they did that. Thank you so much for chiming in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, jumping in. We got a couple left here. Royal Caribbean, no doubt you have seen this week. It was all over socials. They have once again announced that they are raising gratuity rates, the daily service charges that we pay. Despite continuing cutbacks, they are raising the gratuities more than 10%. They're jumping up to $18 a day, $20.50 a day for suites. That's roughly $300 for 2 people on a 7-day sailing, which is more than taxes and port fees combined.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Again, there was some Twitter conversation this week. I always love chatting on Twitter about these sorts of things. Gratuities. If you ever want to stir a pot, talk about gratuities. I have zero issues. In fact, I love. I mean, we're big fans. We always on this channel we advocate. Do not remove gratuities, because when you remove gratuities, you're actually hurting those people that you'll never see on the cruise. The folks that take that dirty towel off of your chair on Serenity Deck, the people that clean up your plates in the buffet station. Like, when you're actually hurting some of those folks. Now, if you take some of those off and give some of those tips to your room steward and stuff like that, people do that. We've heard that as well. But please do not just wholeheartedly remove the gratuities. It does get frustrating though as the lines continue to increase gratuities and continue to make cutbacks. I'll tell you, on Norwegian, that's going to be one of the things that I didn't love about Norwegian is they have the most expensive gratuities of any line that I've ever sailed at $20 a day. That would be fine if I saw my stateroom steward once. Now, again, not complaining. I had towels. My bed was made once a day. He would wake me up if my do not disturb was on, and he would knock and he'd be like, here's your daily document. One day he knocked when my do not disturb was on, and he said it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He's like, either I service your stateroom now or I don't service it today. That was obnoxious. And so again, don't mind it. But as we continue to see those sorts of experiences and the prices continue to go up, I just worry that it's going to become the Vegas hidden resort fee scam. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't call it a scam. The resort fee benefits that you get from all of those wonderful resort fees. I just worry that we're going to start seeing that. And as those elevate to 20, what is it? The Haven guests, I think, pay $25 a day.
It's definitely increased for them. Definitely not great there.
If you're in the Haven with a family of 4, you're going to spend $700.
A whole cruise.
$700. Now, a whole cruise for you and me, not a whole cruise for Rob. No, that three bedroom suite probably costs more than $700.
I would guess.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would guess. All right, moving on to another article. We've got this is another recap article from a couple of weeks ago. We had talked about the residents of Sitka, Alaska, were putting out a petition to reduce the number of cruise passengers visiting Sitka on an annual basis. This year was actually their highest amount of passengers, just cresting over 500,000 passengers to Sitka. I have not. I have not been on any itineraries that stop there. So somehow these magical ships are going there. But yeah, the residents are getting annoyed with how many. Excuse me, thank you. They're getting annoyed with how many passengers are going there. I guess they don't like the revenues that are generated from all of the ships docking. There's more than that. But anyway, it first went to vote. There was a petition that was signed. The leader of this petition got all the signatures required, and the groups shot it down. The Port Authority shot it down, saying that this was not anything legal, that they couldn't put it through. The guy that was leading up this organization went back to the drawing boards and was like, I think there's another way that we can attack this. And so, in working with the Port Authority, he is attempting to put the petition out there again to ban cruise ships from bringing more than 240,000 passengers to Sitka in a cruise year.
In a year. Okay.
Yeah. So, and this,
which will cut it by more than half.
More than half. And it's interesting because this number impacts not just large cruise ships, but if you have a houseboat that's going to the cruise port, it's going to count all passengers that are disembarking in Sitka.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's the status?
Right now, we don't have a status. We're waiting to see if it's going to get approved to be put on the ballot.
I don't think it will, based on the government's response to this last one.
Right. So when he did the initial vote, he had to get 800 signatures. So what they do is they require 1/3 of the voting population to vote. And last time it was 800 people.
Yeah.
There were less people that turned out for voting, however, in October. So the new requirement is 500 signatures. So,
but again, the signatures don't matter if the city says we can't enforce this based on the state constitution, which is what happened this last time.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Cool.
What's next?
I don't know what you got.
I got some Norwegian Cruise Line holdings.
I'm going up next.
Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings? Oh, you're on the lookout? Okay, go.
All right, be on the lookout. So be on the lookout. This one is fun.
I don't know what this one even is.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's fine.
It's on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. Lookout K. Oh, so Disney Cruise Line has made some announcements on the updates to their
Disney Cruise Line. Yay!
I know. Jay will take appreciation on this article, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, Disney made an announcement on their new private destination called Lookout K. It is on the same island as Princess K, which is Eleuthera. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, they are doing some major improvements. So this is in addition to their already existing Castaway K, which is another private destination that Disney currently operates. Lookout K is going to be kind of cool. They're kind of going for this whole vibe, Tahitian kind of vibe. They've got some names that are very consistent with that region of the world. And yeah, just some really cool new design elements that are coming in for this new Lookout K. It is on the southernmost point of Eleuthera Island. And it appears that they're putting in a cruise pier. None of their information talks about it. However, when I was doing some sleuthing on Google Maps, I did see a pier that appeared to be under construction. So very interesting to see. I think the first sailings for that location will start in June of 2024. So we are definitely making some headway on that development. Awesome. And it looks like I was right. Jay does have a little appreciation for all things Disney. So there you have it.
And we have to get on a Disney Cruise Line sailing. Yep. Facebook told us that when we did a poll. Yes. It was between Norwegian, Disney, and MSC.
Oh, MSC. That's
and so I ended up getting on NCL, Norwegian. Yep. I feel free.
Yep. Feel free.
Here's my one concern, y'all. We've got a bunch of you on right now, so I'm gonna tell you first, right here, right now. Here is my concern. I just sailed on Norwegian Encore, and it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
We have sailed Carnival for our pretty much entire cruise career, and we love it. But I will tell you, I'm nervous. I'm nervous as we experience these other lines like Virgin coming up in 14 days. I think some of these new lines are going to spoil us. You heard it here first. Yeah. I'm super excited for the Jubilee. I'm bringing Paul, my brother, on the Carnival Conquest, his first time on that ship. Yeah. We're on the Celebration. We're doing the inaugural Firenze next May. I'm still super excited, and we are loyal Carnival.
We are still Carnival Cruise addicts. Sorry. No, we're not. We're this cruise life.
We still love our Carnival, but yes. I will tell you, Am I talking about Norwegian now?
I think so. Yeah,
yeah. Speaking of Norwegian Cruise Lines, they have canceled their Israel stops for 2024. They announced that they were adjusting 2023 last week. They officially canceled all of 2024 stops with the Israel-Hamas war that is going on. As a result of that, they did share this week that they are cutting their full year guidance. Unfortunately, as you can imagine, the stock market did not respond positively to this news. In addition to the loss, Royal Caribbean as well, by the way, said they're going to lose 3 cents a share this year based on having to reroute their Israel their itineraries as well. But Norwegian, perhaps you've heard of this Pride of America.
Yeah.
They also have a ship that's specifically focused on Hawaii. The Hawaiian wildfires this year also had a negative impact. Yes. And while investors expected this, the impact of Israel and Hawaii was much larger than they anticipated. So NCL cut their full forecast. Of course, CEO Harry Sommer reiterated that the safety and well-being of our guests and crew members are without a doubt our #1 priority. Because of these changes, they've also lowered their occupancy rate levels. So they expected 103% occupancy this year. It's going to reduce down to 102%. So again, the stock price did not respond. I mean, of course, it never responds well. I don't know when a stock price responds well, quite honestly. And so Carnival had record profits and their stock tanked. Norwegian, they lowered forecasts and their stock.
And Royal Caribbean had a similar experience. It's across the board. Carnival Cruise Addicts tells us to branch out and experience all of the lines.
We absolutely are. I'm super excited to check out Virgin. Here's what I will say in my, I'll wrap this up, is I loved Norwegian. Loved my time on the Encore. But when I can book 3 or 4 Carnival cruises
for the same price,
it's
a tough pill to swallow. But it's worth it trying them out and seeing what we experience and what makes them different. And I think that's the thing I'm most looking forward to about Virgin Voyages, and just seeing how they've redefined the cruise industry, because that was their whole thing.
And I am also excited to be able to do some comparisons across the lines. I am super excited to, I mean, you all know us as loyal to Carnival. I'm excited to be able to, we did a Mardi Gras versus Harmony of the Seas, the 2 largest comparison. We did that for ourselves. We didn't have a YouTube presence at that point in time. So we literally did it for ourselves.
Right.
And I'm excited to do that for more.
I think it's going to be a great experience. Hello, Miss Aretha. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is an afternoon where you're located. Thank you again for being here.
Is Miss Aretha going on a cruise?
She is going on a cruise. She's actually going to be on the Venezia.
I don't know. Can you? Oh, sorry. I guess I'm not helping. I'm not helping.
Yeah.
Carnival Venezia.
Yeah, here we go.
That's exciting. That is exciting.
Fun Italian style happening there.
We got to get through.
We're almost there.
Okay.
We're almost there. We've got a few articles to go.
4 more minutes. 4 more minutes. Drop a comment. Drop a question. What are you following out there? And Rocky, go.
This one I thought was kind of a fun one. It's not really a cruise ship necessarily, but the Jungle Cruise at Disneyland. Yes, Jay, I'm looking right at you. The Jungle Cruise at Disneyland got stuck. Apparently the ship needed some maintenance on it, and it got stuck with a fully loaded ship of passengers on board. They had to bring in another one of the Jungle Cruise boats and tow it back so that the passengers could safely disembark from their journey. Fortunately, they didn't have any luggage to carry off of it, so it was a pretty easy and seamless debarkation process. There you have it. Thanks, Mark.
That made Sail Talks. Okay. Thank you, Rocky, for sharing that.
You're
Disney's
welcome.
Jungle Cruise. It's good to know everyone was safe.
Everyone was safe. There were no injuries reported.
Were there 7 shorts and a long?
I don't think so. I don't think they even have life
For
jackets.
you cruisers out there, 7 shorts and a long. I know you do.
Right.
I know you do. Okay. Virgin Voyages.
Let's do it.
We talked a little bit about Virgin Voyages. Cool news. They completed a hybrid fuel test.
On our ship?
On our ship? On our ship. Yes. On our ship, Valiant Lady. So in their goal to get to net zero emissions, which we started this off talking about Carnival's Sootgate. And so in Virgin Voyages, a goal to get to 0 emissions, they tested a hybrid fuel on Valiant Lady. Essentially, they ran the test from September 24th through October 16th, excuse me. And they took 80% fuel, heavy crude oil fuel that's typically used, and they combined it with 20%, get this, of used cooking oil.
Yeah.
Used cooking oil.
It's called biodiesel.
Okay, it's called biodiesel. And they tested bunkering, they tested engine components, they tested how it was consumed, what the outcome was. And again, this was all in their effort to get to a place where they are zero emissions based. And so we love the headlines like this. We love seeing trials and tests like this. And while the majority of the stuff that was still being put into that chip was the kind of gross stuff. Yeah. Yep, we totally get that. We fully support and we get excited when we see these sorts of tests and trials happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll continue to report on them as we see them.
Yeah. Valiant Lady is making her way across the Atlantic right now.
Oh,
she's getting into position for us.
I even had a quote here. Jill Stoneberg, Senior Director of Social Impact and Sustainability for the cruise operator, said this was incredibly promising. I agree. It's incredibly promising. And we'll see you in 14 days, Jill Stoneberg.
Maybe, if she's on board. I don't think she will be.
Maybe she celebrates Thanksgiving on Valiant Lady.
Maybe.
We don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Next one's yours.
Final one?
Yeah, you've got two more. You decided to add more.
I did add a couple. Scotland. I thought you were taking Scotland, but I'll take Scotland. Scotland. So I hinted at this a little bit ago, but Scotland is planning to add some new cruise taxes. More than 800,000 visitors sailed to Scotland in 2019. I would love to go to Scotland. Yeah. That's more than Sitka.
That is more than Sitka.
And so their government plans to allow local councils to tax cruise ships as a way to raise funds for the local port cities. Okay. Increase and add additional taxes so that they can fund those port cities. In addition, the ships that have worse emissions will have a higher tax rate. Which, again, if you think about what Virgin is doing, when you think about what Carnival is doing, when you think about what LNG is doing, when you think about what all of the operators are doing, the local governments are also, and local cruise ports are also saying, we're going to penalize you if you're not driving down emissions when you visit our ports. Now, this is in addition to, I mean, we've talked about Barcelona banning cruise ships. Yeah. We've talked about Amsterdam. They have voted to move the cruise port out of the city center. Bar Harbor, Maine, they're in a legal battle around. So there's a lot of cruise ports right now that are, or there are a lot of cruise cities that are right now focused on how do we reduce or potentially even eliminate cruising as a portion of tourism.
Right.
Again, that's why I started. I wanted to start today with Sootgate, the Carnival Magic's soot accidental discharge in Grand Turk. Yep. I wanted to start there because there are so many implications when accidents like that happen. Yeah. There's just zero room for those sorts of accidents, just based on what we're seeing with the attack on the cruise industry today.
Right, and we're seeing more lines move to cleaner operations. With the Icon of the Seas coming out from Royal Caribbean, that is an LNG-powered ship. That's Royal Caribbean's first attempt on the Royal Caribbean brand. Holland America, we talked about a couple. Yes.
Really? Which ship?
Icon.
Icon is LNG. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that. Literally. Yeah. See, we learned together on this check.
And that's part of their sea trials, is checking to see how the LNG is interacting with the ship and all of that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Holland America, we reported they were making a bunch of updates to all of their operations. So yeah, there's a lot of really great things coming from the cruise industry. It's not all bad news and dark and murky waters.
I see what you did.
You like what I did there?
Okay, last one real quick, and then we'll wrap up talking a little bit about NCL Encore. Yeah. Norwegian Aqua? Yeah. Okay, that was a ship. So Oceania.
Yep.
I never know if I say that right.
That's correct.
The headlines this week, dramatic. Shocking. I know you're shocked that there was a dramatic cruise headline. Stuck with a $20,000 bill was the headline.
Of course.
Oh my gosh, what? This cruise passenger was stuck with a $20,000 bill. Turns out these people are upset because Oceania, part of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, part of Norwegian, they are changing their Israel itineraries, as we mentioned, with the war. Out of safety for guests and crew, they are updating their itineraries. Well, these guests, they're mad and they want a full refund of their entire cruise. And so now they're stuck with a $20,000 bill for a cruise that they booked. Now, I get it. I totally get it. It's disappointing when a cruise misses a port or when a cruise has to, the Bermuda cruise to nowhere on Carnival Venezia recently because of hurricanes. Like it's disappointing when your cruise has to reroute or miss a port. But these cruisers, they're saying, I want a full refund. And Oceania has said, no. Despite multiple requests, despite even the media now getting involved, Oceania has said, no, we've rerouted. We're still giving our guests an amazing, the itineraries look awesome. Now, if you booked this just to go to a single location, I get it, it's disappointing, but we always caution cruisers, be aware if you're booking a cruise only because you're going to go to one place. Greenland is another great example. Like, they miss that entire itinerary. If you're booking to go to a specific place, you're not guaranteed any ports. If you actually read the cruise contract, it tells you you're guaranteed a safe transit from embark to debark. It does not guarantee any ports. And so what are your thoughts? I mean, if a cruise line misses a port, if you can't get to Perfect Day at Coco Cay, or if you miss a stop that you were destined to go to or you were excited to go to, should you qualify for a full refund? Today, it doesn't. Now, the credit card companies, these passengers reached out to the credit card companies. They said, yes, you could get some of it back. We will honor some of it, not the full amount. And also, by the way, several of these had cruise insurance. Cruise insurance has said no, or travel insurance, cruise insurance have said no. International wars and tensions and a cruise still delivering the vacation and still delivering ports that are just different because of international war. We're not going to refund you your money. So even the insurance companies are saying, no, this doesn't qualify. So it's disappointing. I don't want to dismiss that. I'm bummed for those folks that are missing probably a once in a lifetime trip. But at the same time, there's Oceania and the cruise lines, Royal Caribbean. Many of the cruise lines, by the way, it's not just Oceania. Many of the cruise lines are rerouting and giving cruisers an option for still a great vacation.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what happens. I think that Carnival Cruise Addicts has a really good mantra here, and that is "C'est la vie" is their view. You should know the deal when you book your cruise. Absolutely. As Mark said, you are not guaranteed any ports of call.
Which is wild, by the way. We never hope for that. We never hope that on your cruise that the weather is bad or that something happens where you don't get a port.
And that's my biggest concern as I book clients on these sailings. Is it going to come back to me if someone doesn't get to go to the itinerary that they were hoping for? And that's kind of one of the things that I just have to caution my clients out on is, you're not guaranteed that you're guaranteed a room on the ship and you're guaranteed sailing away from port and returning.
Now, in all of our cruises, in my 50 cruises and in your 20 cruises, we've missed 1, 2, 3 ports ever.
3 or 4, yeah.
Two on the Freedom and 1 on Royal Caribbean.
Only 1 on Royal? Okay.
Yep, 1 on Royal Caribbean. 3 ports ever in the history of 50 and 20, 70 cruises. We've missed 3 ports. So while it is important to temper expectations, the reality or the frequency is very, very, very small.
Yes, absolutely true. Yeah.
Probably less frequent than people going overboard. Oh, sorry.
Oh, let's not go there. Oh my gosh, definitely too soon. So as we started to talk about earlier, just real quick, and then we'll get into Norwegian Encore. If you have any booking questions, if you want to hop onto a cruise ship and you're looking for someone that has experience or has advice, hit me up. thiscruiselife.com/travel. I have access to book on all of the cruise lines, and I've got access to a lot of different deals and offers. Right now, I can tell you that there's some new things that are coming out with Holland America. They're doing a $9.99 sale where you can get to Hawaii round trip, which that sounds amazing. We're definitely looking at those options. Cunard is coming out with some solo opportunities, and keep your eyes out for Black Friday savings among the cruise lines. We're already starting to see some teasers coming out from the various cruise lines. And last but not least, if you want to get onto the brand new Norwegian Aqua, hit me up. I can help you out.
Here's my only complaint with booking through Rocky. My only complaint.
Oh, jeez. Why is there a complaint?
When I try to book a cruise and he's like, Mark, you're already on a cruise that week.
I can't help that.
I'm like, Rocky, make some days into the week. I don't understand.
Trust me, enough people out there wish that for work. I'm not going to be able to do that for you.
Anywho.
Yes.
What are we wrapping with? We're wrapping
you
with
wanted to talk about your Norwegian experience.
Norwegian experience. There were some things that I didn't love, of course, just like any cruise, any vacation, there were going to be those sorts of things. But there was a lot that I absolutely loved. And so I'm super excited. We're going to be publishing my first 24 hours on board. I will tell you the theme of my first 24 hours on board would be queues, lines, Irish coffees, and solos.
Right.
Queues, Irish coffees, and solos. And so that's just a little teaser to tempt you to go out and watch that video. We hope that you'll go ahead and click like on this and watch that and like that and share it with your friends, share it on your Facebook, you know, wherever. But it was a great week on Norwegian Cruise Line's Encore.
Right.
I always have to think about that.
You really do. You put a lot of thought into it.
Several times as I was recording videos, I don't know what you're doing, but
don't worry about it.
Cool. Okay. Several times on the ship, I would get the wrong cruise line altogether. I said Celebrity several times. It felt very much like Celebrity. It reminded me very much of Celebrity Apex. Just a beautiful spaces, beautiful design. Really, really liked the look and feel of the ship. There were some dead ends. For anyone who has been on a Norwegian sailing, I don't know if it's just unique to this class, but there were several points where I would walk down a pathway and it would just stop. And oftentimes those dead ends were for pay spaces.
Oh, yeah.
And so you'd have to just turn around and walk the other way. I just noticed that several times.
Like the Haven, the beach club.
I'll tell you, the racetrack, I think, personally, I'm sure it makes some money and I'm sure people enjoy it. It wasn't used in Alaska. No. It wasn't used in Alaska when the digits were negative digits. People weren't using that racetrack. I mean, some people were, but few and far between. Yeah. And it takes up a tremendous amount of space, as does the laser tag. The laser tag takes up a tremendous amount of space on the aft.
Yeah, it's on the very aft, right?
Forward?
No, it's aft.
It's aft. I have to think about where I was on the
forward
ship.
Was the garden cafe.
Yep. And so I can see why people... I don't know that I would love that ship if it were sailing to the Caribbean.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay. I could see that.
Okay. Yeah. Are we wrapping or what? Are you surprising people with something?
I'm just getting things ready because I want to launch this.
Oh, he's gonna get ready to launch. I need to re-upload the thumbnail?
No, that's what I was just working on actually.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe you don't do that while we're live.
Well, you can continue to talk. You're good. You're doing a great job at holding over.
Let's call this. Let's wrap up. Let's say our farewells.
Our farewells already? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, pause on that, please. Can we say our farewells?
Yeah, sure. Farewell. No, I'm just kidding.
Obsessed.
I am. Well, keep your eyes out. I'm thinking at 11 o'clock. So in about 9 minutes or so, we'll be able to have, now 8 minutes. We'll be able to have our first 24-hour video from the Norwegian Encore up and running.
And then we're working on the full,
what
I loved, what I didn't love, what I hated, that Norwegian Encore, the full week review.
Yep. We've got several videos that we're currently working through. We're going to do a little Jubilee preparation video. We're also working on your holiday gift shopping ideas.
I'm super excited for this one. I'm super excited for holiday cruise shopping.
Yep.
It's something that we've talked about doing for literally 2 years, and we're finally going to do it. I'm super excited to talk about the must-have cruise items that we absolutely love and we take with us on every sailing.
Yeah. So really excited about that.
There's some other stuff too, right?
Yeah, there's
hey, I also recorded the Norwegian Cruise Line's check-in process. I was so excited for my first time ever that I recorded that full process. So if you're new to Norwegian or you just need a refresher, that entire video, I did it kind of like a train the trainer style. I was super excited. I had my headset on.
It felt, I'm not going to lie, it felt really weird editing it because I did feel like I was watching a training video on how something is done. Yeah, an e-learning, exactly. I was like, this is weird, but okay, cool. No, it's fun. It's fun.
Carnival Cruise Addicts, Miss Aretha, Rob, who else joined us? Raymond, everyone who dropped did I miss anyone?
No, that was it.
Everyone who dropped a comment in today, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us as always every Sail Talk Saturday.
Yes. Stay tuned. We're going to work on our timing of this because tonight the rest of the world changes their clocks. Okay. Arizona stays on the current time zone. So Stay tuned for what that time difference is going to look like moving forward. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
And then next week we might have a big surprise when we're doing our broadcast. So stay tuned.
I forgot about that. Yeah, surprise coming next week. Surprise coming next week.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I feel like Kathy Lee and you're Regis. If they could see me now out on a fun ship cruise.
We should keep track of how many times we've done that song.
I love that song so much.
Yes.
Rob knows this. I have sent that song to Rob.
Have you really?
100 times.
That's funny.
If I've sent it once.
That's funny. That's funny.
Miss Aretha is even like, have a great day, guys.
Yeah,
please
let
me get back to my day. Miss Aretha, thank you so much for joining. Truly appreciate you.
Yes.
Surprise next week.
Yep.
And then the following week, we're going to be on Virgin
Valiant. Well, we'll be getting ready to sail. We don't get on to Valiant Lady until like 3:30.
Oh, so we will still be able to do this. It'll just be probably from our hotel room.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Apparently Siri was listening. Sorry, Siri. Yeah, I don't know. We have to figure out what our hotel accommodations are going to be like. I'm putting a link in this description if you're going to want to grab that. This is for Mark's first 24 hours on board the Encore. It's not live yet. It comes live at 11 o'clock Pacific. So feel free to save that link and head on over to that, and you can join the release of that video.
11 o'clock specific.
11 o'clock specific, yes.
Okay. Hey, until next week, y'all, or until this video goes live, we will see you very soon. Thank you for joining us for Sail Talk Saturday.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you around. Bye.